happy Saturday evening. I've got really red cheeks, so it must be quite warm. I've got my onesie on, I think that's why. Having quite a chilled out day today. A little bit of a weird day. Artemis is over there sleeping. Ozzy's over there, and I think Ethan must be upstairs somewhere, or he might be on the windowsill. Anyway, yeah, I've had a really weird day today. Yesterday I did Free Work Friday and things, and then, I don't know, like last night I decided to do something a bit strange, because we've been on lockdown for so long. It's more than a year since I saw somebody in person, and I don't know, like I've just been getting a little bit of a rut, not in a bad way, but just, I don't know, like I'm missing variety and I need a bit more spice in my life. So, yesterday, like last night, I ended up tidying the house. I went to bed really late. I went to bed about 4 a.m. this morning, and I had to get really early because on a bit of a whim, I decided to order McDonald's breakfast to be delivered. And I don't know why. It just kind of seemed like a really cool thing to do. It's something I've never done before, and I guess like growing up as a kid, we would have like a Chinese takeaway, but there was no such thing as delivery, and it was a really big special treat if we ever had like a takeaway. And even that was just kind of like the novelty of like, wow, like you can buy food from a shop that's cooked for you. And so I just was like, wow, like you can actually order breakfast to be delivered to your house. It just seemed like the most exciting thing ever. And so I ordered breakfast, and the guy delivered it at like 7 a.m. this morning. So I went to bed at 4 a.m. and then I got up at 7 to get my breakfast. And I ended up booking a lot of the Airbnb virtual experiences for this month. I've also planned out my days for this month as well. I just decided I need to shake things up a little bit, basically because I'm bored, I think, with my routine, and everything just seems a little bit mundane. I need a bit more spice in my life. That's the only way to explain it. And I don't know, like I just can't get over technology and how the world has changed so much. And there was a little clip on on Twitter today, from 1982 with computers, and they were talking about like the future of computers, and in the future,
take a book like this. This has approximately 400 words on a page.
Right.
And so if you look at the screen of this television, on that's you'd need 3 screens like this to be the same as one page. So that's quite small. The 32,000 characters in here is about 12 pages in this book. So when you start talking about books, that 32,000 seems relatively small.
And that's obviously why you have to extend your storage capacity by using tapes or floppy disks, that kind of system.
This disc will hold about 80 of those novels, or the characters out of 80.
That's not just one
novels.
disc, is it? There are several.
No, there are 5 discs here, and the heads go in between to read the data, which is stored magnetically on those discs. And we can load it on the machine. Quite simply like this, bang, bang.
and basically there was a computer, and you had this massive tape reel, and it held like 8 books, I think, and it was just kind of, wow, like in the future you'll be able to maybe read a book or read 13 pages of a book on a computer. And obviously now we've got the Kindle, and we've got the Kindle app we've got phones, like mobile phones, we've got the internet, things that didn't exist when I was growing up. And it just kind of struck me as just, I don't know, it just hit me today, but we're in this like weird lockdown phase, and yet we've got this most amazing technology. Like from my house, I could go to a sperm bank and I could order a baby almost, I could have my DNA tested, I can find out my ancestors, I can order breakfast to be delivered to my house, booked to speak with an Olympian today, to have a coaching session. That's just mind-blowing. And to think like when I was at school, we were learning on typewriters and taking Pitman's exams as part of our business studies classes. And here I am today. I've just come off a call with an Olympian who is in New Zealand right now, And over Zoom, we just had a long conversation about how I can apply an Olympic mindset to my business, to my daily life. And that's just phenomenal. I don't know, I'm a little bit mind blown, I think. A little bit random thought. You know, the career I have as a full-time writer, that didn't even exist when, like, back in 1982 when I was in school, and when computers like almost held a book. And I just wonder, it kind of really excites me for the future, like what a book's going to be like in this future. And it just seems so impossible and like futuristic and far-fetched that we might be living in this augmented reality. Like a book might be an augmented reality book that we read with our headsets on. It just seems like really crazy. But back in the day when we just got our computers for the first time, it seemed crazy that you could even read a book on a computer. And yet here we are today. We've got all these amazing things we can do from the chair, from my living room, without leaving the house. I haven't left my house in a year. Like, I haven't seen another human being in over a year. This is just crazy. I've just started taking Steph Green, her skeleton outline course. I've just started that now. And I'm changing things up this month because I need a change. I need to try and just add some variety into my day because I think it's stopping me with my writing at the moment because I don't know. It's just a bit like every day's the same. So I ended up looking on the Airbnb Virtual Experiences website. Kind of before that, like I took my sprinting journal planner. And I decided I'm not getting up at 5 a.m, but I really like my morning routine as it is. So the plan is to get up at, 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning. Basically do my yoga nidra, because that really worked this last week. That's been amazing. So 10 minutes of yoga nidra while I'm in bed. Then have my ice shower. And then from one of the Olympic athletes I was speaking to a few weeks ago, I've started to incorporate having like Himalaya salt, water and lime just to flush out my system first thing, which is working really, really well. And also I've started doing the gratitude, like saying what I'm thankful for when I'm drying myself after my ice shower. And I tried all this last week and it had the most amazing impact. It really, really uplifted me and I could feel like the neurotransmitters and things. Like I could just feel those little dopamine hits. It really changed my day, my mindset was really, really helpful. And so I'm probably not going to do Pomodoro sessions this week, but I have split my day. I'm trying something new. I'm going to split my day into hourly sessions. So like working more of a 9 to 5 routine. So my first hour, so from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m, I'm going to write extra shots. And then from 10 to 11, I'm going to work on Dearly Departed. 11 till 12, I'm going to work on Partridge in a Pear Tree. And then I'm going to have an hour for lunch. And then I'm going to have an hour on extra shots, an hour on Dearly Departed. And then an hour doing website shop things, merch, working on my website. And then I'll have an hour doing plotting Cupcake Crime, which is the next book after extra shots. So I think I'm just going to try and do an hour of like different projects, and then between 5 and 6 I'll probably try and exercise, and then split the rest of the hours into different things I want to do each hour, going to bed at 11 o'clock, which is going to be a little bit easier I think than trying to get to bed at 9, which just wasn't working for getting up at 5 a.m. So that gives me plenty of time for sleeping. I think that's going to really work. Just mixing things up. I've never written more than one book at once, but I'm not necessarily going to be writing the different books, but each book is at a different phase. So it might just be putting the plot together. It might just be working on my vellum file, adding on my illustrations and things. It might be just reading for an hour or like refilling the creative well. So I'm going to split things into hourly tasks. And I just had a session. And also I looked at all the free of charge Airbnb virtual experiences, and I have booked a lot of those in as well. So before I write in the morning. So some of them like maybe 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and also after 5 p.m. as well, between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. So I've got like ballet lessons. I've got lots of yoga. I've got every Sunday night I've booked in yoga with Mimi, who is the bobsleigh Olympian that I had the session with a few weeks ago, which was amazing. So basically like Sunday evening at like, I think it's like 9 o'clock, 9 till 10, have a yoga session with her, like one-on-one. I have booked in loads of things related to my book. So I've got an hour with a cat behaviourist for my cat series. That'll be in March. I have an hour booked in a wine tour in Georgia because that's where I used to live and I miss it. I have an hour in with a beekeeper because I have bees and wasps in Partridge in a Pear Tree, so that might be one of my hours. I've booked in a lot of mental strength type business advice coaching sessions with different Olympians as well that I've booked in as well. And I also got a couple of free sessions because I don't know, Airbnb just decided to give me lots of free ones, so that was cool. So I've got a couple of like other random ones, like a tea ceremony in China is one of them, or Japan. I think it might be Japan. I think this is going to be really interesting, just mixing stuff up and doing really random things each day. But this evening, I had an hour's coaching, business and mental confidence type coaching with a British guy, a Scots guy called Hugh Hutchinson, who is a mogul skier and has represented the UK, lives in New Zealand now. And I think I actually had a little bit of a breakthrough moment, which was unexpected. So he sent me some questions across right after I booked it. I only booked it like last night. And then he sent me a message and just asked me kind of if there was anything particular I wanted to work on one-on-one with him today. And I said that I wanted to focus on this issue I've been having with starting to write. And like, I have a really good morning routine. I'm really excited about writing. I know what I'm going to be writing. And once I open the document and I write 5 words, I'm fine and my whole day flows. But sometimes I find it really, really hard to start and I end up like procrastinating and I didn't know what it was because I'm really motivated. I really love writing and I want to do it, but I don't know why I have this issue with opening the file and starting. And it was really interesting because like towards the end of our session, and also he was showing me some pictures as well, and he showed me this one photo of what it looks like at the starting gate at the top of the ski slope. And like you've got all the bumps, you've got the crowd at the bottom, you've got the crowds like on the sidelines, and then you've got the commentators and the buildings at the bottom. And it turns out, I think this is a massive breakthrough for me. And I think I kind of worked out that I think the issue I've been having, I thought maybe I was like afraid of success, or like I was lazy and I just didn't want to write. But then I was like, this doesn't really feel like that's the case. But I think what it actually is I am so in the zone with the writing that I have to get out the starting gate first. But once I'm out the starting gate, if I'm like a skier and I'm skiing down the slope, I don't like to be stopped when I'm skiing and I'm in flow, or if I'm writing and I'm in flow. And I get really, really cross when I get distracted by somebody knocking on the door, like somebody trying to drop off an Amazon parcel of one of the neighbours, or a leaflet coming through the door. And I get really agitated, really irritated when I get distracted. It pulls me out of flow. I have to go right back to the beginning of my chapter, start all over again. And I don't know. And I have this anxiety almost of being distracted when I'm in flow. And it was really interesting to liken that to being an Olympic skier skiing down a slope, and then a media person comes up and wants to interview you while you're in full flow and you're trying to time yourself and get down to the bottom as fast as you can. And I think actually that kind of makes more sense. Like, I think that's actually what's going on mentally with me, and is why that's why I've been getting up at 5 a.m. to write. And I'm okay when I get up at 5 a.m. and I start writing at 5 a.m. It's when I start writing later in the day that I have issues starting with writing. And I think it's just this not wanting to be distracted or pulled out of my story. And I guess it's just that I have this kind of Olympic mindset attitude where I'm fully focused, like I'm really in the zone, I'm really motivated, and also, you know, I'm working towards my house as well, getting the funds towards my house. I have my plan, and I have basically been kind of basing my days on like looking at things as a day. And I think actually by looking at things in hourly chunks, it might actually make things a little bit easier. So rather than my day being ruined by getting distracted by something, if I get distracted, then basically it's only that hour that's been distracted, and then I can start afresh the second hour. So I think if I'm starting on different projects, this might just help me with this mental mindset issue, because I think that's what's going on. And I had no idea. And it was just so funny when he showed me the picture of what it looks like for him at the top of the ski slope. I was like, that's it. It's like starting a race and then getting stopped while you're racing for something that just doesn't seem like it matters in that moment. So, you know, somebody knocking on the window, knocking on the door, wanting to drop a parcel off for the neighbours. And it just makes me really irate and angry and pulls me out of that situation. And I find it really hard to get back in the zone when that happens. And I get this sense of dread that someone's going to stop me when I start writing. This is something I'm going to be thinking about, because I think this is a big breakthrough for me. This is really helpful. And now I can kind of identify with that. I can start to deal with it and try and work out strategies for zoning everything else out, getting my words done each day, because there's a lot at stake. You know, I'm trying to get my house here, and I want to get my word count in each day. The more I can be in control of that, the better. And just knowing and identifying what the issue is super helpful. So yeah, that was well worth it. An hour's coaching, totally unexpected. I didn't imagine that would be the issue I'm having, but I think that's what I've come up with. And like I say, I just saw this picture of what the slope looks like, and it all made sense. That's huge. And I think it's going to really, really help. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a nice fresh new week starting. I'm still just tweaking things at the moment. I'm still learning about how I work as a writer, trying to optimize my performance the best way I can. And I think not getting up at 5 a.m. means my brain will be a little bit more rested, because I'm not naturally a morning person. So I think I'm still going to just try and get up at like 7 or something, 6 or 7, depending on how long my morning takes me. But basically going to be writing between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. with an hour for lunch in the day, and try and get more of a routine to make life easier. And then throwing in different random Airbnb experiences, virtual experiences, just to freshen things up, and then trying to make sure I get my exercise in each day as well. I like exercising first thing in the morning, but then it just wipes my energy out. So I think I'm better off exercising at like 5 to 6 p.m. Or like after I finish my writing. So I'm not going to exercise on Mondays, because I have my coaching session with Amy between 5 and 7 in the evening on Mondays, and yeah, that tends to take it out of me a bit. So yeah, I'm really excited for the week ahead. I hope you guys have had an awesome week. Very random thoughts as always, but yeah, this is kind of just the daily check-in, and that's where I'm at the moment. I'm going to go and chill out a little bit, and yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens next. So speak to you guys soon. Bye. And I forgot to say, I made a cake today as well. I'm not very good at making cakes, but it smells really good. It's actually avocado, lemon and poppy seeds, and I need to ice it still. But yeah, I'm really pleased. It's come out okay. House is all nice and clean for the week ahead. And yeah, exciting times ahead. But yeah, can't wait to taste my cake. Here it is. Avocado, poppy seeds and lemon. And it smells amazing. But yeah, I need to ice it still.